Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for Elle Studio, and I'm sharing this layout with you created with the March kit and add-on goodies. I also wanted to wish you a happy St. Paddy's Day. So this is a St. Paddy's Day layout that is really more about life than it really is about St. Paddy's Day, but I used bits and pieces from the kit that are green, yellow, and orange, kind of St. Paddy's Day colors with some gold, and created this layout. So I am using sort of that orangey red color from the Flourish 6 by 8.5. I have to get used to these new measurements. Paper stack, and I'm just putting a very thin border. Actually, it ends up being even less visible than it is here, but I wanted that pop of orange to tie the color, the really bright reddy orange that will be in the clover on the left hand side of this layout. I wanted to tie it together. I also didn't like the way that the cards just kind of randomly floating on the edge of the border here are going to work. So here I have a combination of 3x4 cards from both the kit as well as from the Flourish printable that I'm going to use. I want to use 3 of them like I have here down this right hand edge. They kind of close off the visual triangle, and you'll see what I mean as I create the layout. And they also intermingle a spread of color between the yellow, the orange, and the green down this side of the page. And then I have printed from using the papers again from that Flourish paper stack. I used the clover that's in the die cut and cut 3 of those, 2 from green, the same pattern paper, and then 1 from that reddy orange color. And you can see how I've created the visual triangle that moves through the photo and kind of moves your eye around the page. And you see what I mean there by how those cards kind of close off that visual triangle. So I also have these tags that are from the printables, the Flourish printables, and I'm going to use those just to kind of nestle words in there, phrases, dates, and various other things. Those are the adventure stickers, and I had really wanted to use one of them on there, but there isn't a lot of green or orange, or that, I'll call it orange, but it's really an orange red, that tied into the theme of this. I am going to end up using one of them, the small one that just says fun, but I will end up doing that off camera. So I've committed to the placement of these things, and that is the basic structure of the layout. Then it's just time to go in and add a few embellishments. So that card, the 3x4 card with the ampersand, is from the printables, and I've layered it, and there's just a very tiny pop of that floral that's behind it, and that is indeed the card from the kit. This is a photo of myself, my daughter, and my husband on St. Paddy's Day, and we're wearing our St. Paddy's Day green. My son, and this is referenced in the journaling, is actually in Florida at this time last year, or he was actually on his way. We had taken him to the airport earlier that morning, and the journaling says, St. Patrick's Day without Nikolas in Virginia, a taste of things to come, a reminder to enjoy it all. And so this year he should have been in Florida for a swim meet, and I should be on my way currently as we speak, flying down there to join him. However, the meet got canceled, and so here we are, having St. Paddy's Day at home, which is just fine. And so these are the acrylics. I absolutely love these acrylics that come this March. See that gold one? That one, it's hard to see here, but when you look at the close-ups, that is a really cool sort of mirrored gold. And so I've got 3 of those that just punctuate the journal cards there. So in many ways, this layout kind of violates the trio of things that I like to put on a layout. It violates a lot of design principles, but there's still flow to it because there are different trios. They're just not all combined. So you can see the visual triangle that's created by those large oversized clovers. There is a trio of the acrylic clovers that move your eye down the page. And then there's also actually a trio of those acetates that come from the Go See Do acetate die cuts. There's a trio of those that also move your eye around the page. They're not all clustered together, but they still are trios of things, and they kind of move your eye around that page. And again, I really think that the overriding cluster there is that big cluster of clovers that is sort of the predominant thing there. You will also see that I am going to add a little bit of black to this layout. I'm going to use these puffy stickers. Those are from the Title Builder Volume 4 puffy stickers. They were released this month with the Title Builder Volume 4 stamp set, and I've done a video on using that previously. I think this is the only layout this month that I have created without using the Title Builder. So you can see the black there from the puffy stickers. So I have 2 stickers that I'm going to end up using. I will commit to having that one by the picture, and then I felt like I just had those 2 random spots of black and it needed a third somewhere tied into that, and I will incorporate that into the layout. What I just put down were the tiny shapes and dots puffy stickers. I highly recommend those if you haven't already done your shopping. They are fantastic because they're just little and they're all sorts of colors of the rainbow. So this is the typewriter, black typewriter cardstock alpha stickers. This is where I'm going to get my third shot of black in to tie this in. And I will tell you off camera, I'm actually going to go back with these letters and I'm going to make the whole title of this layout, Love You Today, using that ampersand and always. And that will be the title. I also am going to, off camera, go upstairs to my sewing machine and I'm going to sloppy stitch a frame around the outside border. It just kind of, that black unity ties everything together. But you see how that always creates that trio there? And so that the black at the top of the layout adds balance to the black at the bottom of the layout there. This is just some gold thread, and I'm going to fight with this thread because it doesn't stick, and so I'm going to then try and wad it up underneath some foam, and that's not going to work. So what I end up doing is I keep the thread ball underneath that today from the kit, but I'm then going to put that on top of a green label, and that's from the printables. And I really like the way that that green just kind of pops the today so that you can read the whole title. And I will end up doing that off camera because it's something that I, as I was taking pictures, actually it was oftentimes off camera, I will think that the layout is done. And then I'll go back in and I'll see something that really needs changing when you have that different perspective. And that is what I did off camera. So that label that I'm shifting around there, I am going to use the date stamp and I'm going to stamp 2019 on there. And again in black, and that just adds a little bit more weight to the top of the layout for some balance and some symmetry. And then that, my friends, is pretty much going to wrap up the layout. There's the stitching. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you're having a great St. Paddy's Day, a little bit different than how we usually celebrate. Kind of got to stick to the social distancing. Enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. Let me know how you're celebrating your St. Paddy's Day. Hope you're doing well. Take care.